What's up guys, it's Missy. I am back with another SimCity Buildit video. Today we're going to be doing the walkthrough part 2 of the high level contest of mayors. So as many of you guys know if you watch my channel, most of my videos are for low level players, people who don't have regionals unlocked and maybe have restarted and are following the Missy's Building Guide. That's what the majority of my contest of mayors videos are about. Now the way you choose your tasks is going to be completely different as a low-level player versus a high-level player. Now, there are a lot of players still that don't want to junk their city who are considered to be high-level. If you kind of fall somewhere in between, I recommend watching the Should I Restart video and the What Should I Expect If I Don't Restart video. Okay, both of those videos are definitely something you need to hear before you make a commitment to a game that you have completely destroyed. Okay, so a lot of people who find my channel too late end up in a position where they have put maybe a few months into the game that they don't want to junk their city. So they're kind of stuck between watching the high level CoM videos and the low level videos because they really don't know what to do. They're in a bad spot. If that sounds like you, if you're anywhere between, let's say, level 25 and 31, and you have 8 months or less played, I highly recommend you restart. Odds are you've unlocked regionals, and odds are, you have a lot of stuff that you're dealing with that you shouldn't be dealing with at the position in the game that you're in. So make sure you watch those videos, and let's go ahead and get started. Now, if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you do that. I try to put videos out, like every day, but as the videos stack up, there's less and less to say. So if you have a video request, make sure you put it in the comments section. And if you want to join us on Facebook, type in SimCity Buildit, MissyAnneYT. That's where a lot of video links, the contest of mayors guides, things like that get posted. So make sure that you are part of that. Okay, so we're going to pick up where we left off. I am a high level player. Okay, if you've learned anything from any of my contest of mayors videos, the first thing you always do is you set the scene. We did that in walkthrough part 1. We had went through, I had done the task assessment, the breakdown, all that good stuff. Now I have 25 tasks remaining, about 3 days and 21 hours left in the contest at this point. So as you can see, I'm moving really fast. Not moving fast and making bad choices, but moving as fast as I can, because as a high level player, as any level player, but especially as a high level player, you have to make sure that you can do any task that you get, right? And so one of the issues that I had talked about in walkthrough part 1 was those regionals. The regional HQs and how they have those timers on them and how you don't want to open too many and yada yada. So then you also have war downtime and wartime, active wartime. So you have to also, account for that. Now at this point, I'm at about 5 tasks left until I can begin the streaks. So at 45-60, obviously, especially as a high-level player, I can get this task done in 4 hours rather than, 8 for a low-level player. That makes this choice a little bit different. Now, if this was, let's say, a low-level player's game, we would have to take into consideration that they have streaks and double downtimes, right? So they wouldn't be able to... they would have to be very cautious if they were going to do something like this, because it could come back in the streaks 3, 4, 5 times over again, And if that happens to a low-level player, you can double up on every bit of downtime, which is just, it could be very problematic. So high-level players, you do have a benefit there. Okay, so we finished the sugar, and I get a upgrade 3 Omega. Now this is an excellent task. I can just drop down a construction zone because I always make sure that I have those available. That is essential, okay? Because if you end up in a position where you get these types of upgrades and you don't have construction zones available, not only can it be annoying to find one that's opened up on your map, but they're asking for a lot of stuff. Like I have one right now asking for, like, I don't know, I want to say like 8 or 9 Omega items, which is just ridiculous. So I laid down a new construction zone and I got that one done like super fast. Then I get a upgrade 3 Tokyo. Okay, now I already had the Tokyo items. That's part of my prep. So again, I was able to lay down a new construction zone, and also you can do this, each map is individual. So let's say you have 2 available on your capital, you have separate ones available on your regionals. So be aware of that as a high level player. Now, this one took a little bit longer than the Omega, of course, but not too long. Was able to get that one done rather quickly. Okay, now I get Attacks and Club Wars. Now, right around this time, the first war was ending in, I want to say an hour. I think this was that day. Yeah, it was. Okay, so war was ending in like an hour and a half, and that's why I wanted to go rather quickly so I could figure out what I was going to do, what my next plan was going to be. So I did get the 6,000 launch attack and club wars, got that done really quickly, and then I got a what did I get here? Shovels? Yeah, I got shovels. So at this point, I know that I want to be able to have the possibility of getting the VU in the streaks, and I know that I also do have a repair that I'll be needing to do. But you also have to consider that you have a total of 6 streaks in Mega, okay? Each one contains 4 tasks. 6 times 4 is 24. With the 20 tasks left plus the 15 tickets, I do have some leeway here where I can go a little bit further than the 20 tasks before I get to the streaks. Now, because of the way that this lined up, it would have been really foolish for me to start the streaks right now, because here's what was happening. War was ending, right? Now, if I start this streak, I have 24 hours to finish the entire streak. What if I get a war assignment in that short period of time? I'm in big trouble because I have a 12-hour downtime on the war, and then I have a 12-hour prep time, right? So I risk not being able to finish it. So what I really needed to do was weigh out my options here at this point. And what I saw it as was, okay, I do have some extra tasks that I can utilize before starting streaks and see what comes in. And then if I want to, what I did was I was able to prep my factories with something longer, like glass, feed, electrical, something like that. And I decided not to take the full 24-hour downtime, but take, like, let's say a 10-hour downtime, right? And then I could go ahead and start streaks. And I knew that war was starting in 12 hours. I still had 12 hours to finish, the streak. I wasn't going to fail. So I didn't have to wait the full 24 hours. That was my thought process at this point. Now, I've checked the leaderboard. At this point, I have 175,000. The guy in first has 244,000. So I've got quite some ground to cover, and I'm sure that they're not done putting up points. Now, I get the war deliveries, which was right before war ended, so I was able to get that done. Then I got Upgrade Frosty, which is an obvious choice. Now, at this point, I get a 3,200 war attack. So I had a choice. I could either do this and clear out that war assignment right now and get it taken care of, or I could do the shovels. Now, the problem is this particular place value has been rather good to me. So getting that done before war ended was essential. So this one was a little bit tougher of a choice. Now, if I look at all of the stuff below this, I had metal that was slightly higher, right? But we're talking about a limited task here. Something that is not able to be done at any point in time, like metal, for example. So I went ahead and I did make the choice to do the war attack. Now, typically, I would have went with the shovels. I only chose this because of what was going on in my game. And, you know, honestly, it may not have ever needed done had I not done it. I could have probably went with shovels, but I don't know how, you know, that would have turned out with working my place value that hasn't been good to me. By place value, I mean that specific task section. So if you pay very close attention, most of these have been sitting since the beginning of the contest, right? Now, sometimes you'll work a place value and then you'll do it again and it'll give you something good and it'll just keep giving you something good. And if you scramble it up too much, it starts to give you bad stuff. And this is mostly for high level players. So the fact I had something good going for me right here, all these 6K tasks, I didn't really want to screw it up. I didn't want to, you know, reach down too far and grab something and send the whole system out of whack. So I did go with the launch Club Wars attack for significantly lower points. Okay, at this point I get pizza for 3,300, which I did prep in my fast food shop because I know how common this particular task is. And then I was able to get the shovels on a token. Now, at this point, I have 32 tasks total if I add up my tickets, and I need 24 to finish the streaks. So I'm still safe. Now I get a 6,000 Green Valley. Like I was saying, this place value has been really good to me. I don't want to screw this up. This is usually what happens with high-level players, is you have to be very cautious of how much rotation you do versus a low-level player. Okay, so I get that done, and I get a 4,800 Latin. Now this one is essential that I get done, because if you do the CoM math, and you don't usually have to do as much math with high level as you do low level, but if you look at it here, if we weigh out our options, it's not only the highest in the list, but it has the highest VP in the list, value possibility, right? So for example, let's just pretend that the pizza was at 4,800. Which one would be more beneficial to clear? The upgrade, right? Now, as a low-level player, it would be the opposite, because you would be wanting to clear out the production task because you can't do upgrades, and because you wouldn't want the upgrade to come back in worth a really high value. But as a high-level player, you got to do the opposite of that. This particular task can be worth up to 7,200 points. Why would I leave that sit there, right? So obviously I did that. Now this is where I start to hate EA. All right. I don't know if you guys remember from walkthrough part 1, but I've had this particular task, I want to say 3 times now. This might be the 3rd time. Okay. And it's not regional currency. It's the exact map. So I've run low on everything, you know, all of my items, all of my regional rows. I've paid an obscene amount in cash to these stupid freaking rows, and this is where I hate high-level CoM. This is where things start to get near impossible and expensive, because when you have a task like this, how do you let that sit? How do you let a 6,000 point coins task sit? You know, especially when you have so much invested into this already, it doesn't make sense. You know, you have to do it, and you have to figure out how to do it, and it's a nightmare. So, that got done, and then at this point, I had burnt quite a bit of time by now, several hours. So I was able to go ahead and start the streaks. Okay, so I knew that eventually, when the streaks were over, that this was my list below. So I was able to go ahead and prep what was in the list below. I was able to keep the pizza prepped, and I was able to, you know, hunt down whatever London items I needed, and yada yada. So I do the repair, and obviously I'm stuck having to do this fucking task again. Okay, look at what they did to me. Yeah, they did it. I was cursing out EA all week. All damn week. I'm not even playing with you. My phone's life just about died. I almost threw it into an embankment. I was so pissed. So if you are somebody who gets as pissed as I do at this game, and you're probably sitting there laughing right now going, yeah, I know how she feels. Yeah, I was about to that point. I was enraged. Because I have done this task so many times, dude. It was ridiculous. And it's not, like I said, it's not like they just gave me coins tasks. They gave me the same one. So here I am. I've got, I think this was, no, this wasn't this one yet. It got real bad. They gave it to me again after this. I'm telling you. Okay, so I did that. Don't ask me how. It was a nightmare. Everybody in my group, nobody really has high-level items unlocked, and nobody has the limestone map unlocked. The few high-level players that we do have don't have limestone. So, yeah, that sucked. Now, I do the VU. Now, remember back a few minutes ago when I said I wanted to get that VU cleared out to make sure that it had the possibility of popping up in the streaks? This is why. So, we get the 6,000 VU we were hoping for. We get the bonus points. Now, right here, this was a mistake I had made. I shouldn't have. I had a lot of bulbs sitting in my furniture store. And I haven't had any appliance production tasks in a long time. I was hurting so badly for storage that I did what I shouldn't have done. And I filled my appliance store with bulbs, you know. So I had to wait an entire hour to clear those out on a gold token. Man, was I pissed. And I had just used up all my electrical. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, I had a really bad day this day. So there was quite a few mistakes that I made in terms of, like, just stupid shit like that. And it was one of those things where it was like one thing after another. So I had used up all my electrical. I had used up all of my plastic and my glass. Yeah, it was just fabulous. So I had to go and hunt that down, which was actually kind of difficult to do. There really wasn't very much electrical on Global that day. So anyway, after 4 gold tokens, yeah, I had to use the 1 to get the bulbs cleared out, and then I had to use, I believe it was 4 on 10 of the refrigerators. I think it was 4 in total. So yeah, that was a nightmare. And so I did that. Yeah, it was about 3 if you look at the hour time. Okay, so now I get cargo, which I did. Then I get Old Town. Okay, so at this point, again, with the Latin and the Old Town, they can both be worth up to 7,200 points on a double. So, you know, it's kind of a no-brainer here. It's in the streaks. I don't really have a choice. Pretty much anything that comes up in the streaks is what I'm going to be doing. No matter what it says is what I'm going to be doing because I need these bonus points. So, there it is. Yes, they did it to me again. Count them up. I believe this is the 5th or 6th time that they gave me limestone. So, this one, I believe it was this one. Let me check the times. Hold on. Yeah, it was. Okay, so 2 days, 14 hours. Look at 2 days, 9 hours. Okay, it took me 5 hours to get this task done. Do you know why? Because I had to sit there on my limestone map and run gold token after gold token after gold token on robes and fans to sell them to the people because I had no shipments left. I had nothing. I had no other option. I had no choice. Then I had to lay down a bunch of regular residentials and refresh the building materials. For anything that was asking for medium or large regionals, I would refresh. And if they were just asking for normal items, I would do the upgrade so that I could get the 50 regionals. That was how I was able to finally get the last like 200 coins I needed, was to just keep doing those residentials. But yeah, this was a bitch. This was bullshit is what it was. Okay, I was pretty upset. I was pissed. All right, so there it is, ladies and gentlemen. The sugar. Yeah. Did Missy prep sugar? No. Missy prepped something a little bit longer than sugar. So obviously I had to go and clear out all the glass I had prepped and prepped sugar, so I had to take 4 hours downtime for that, which isn't terrible when you're a high level player. At least I'm not low level. That would have been a nightmare. But that's my point. You know, low level players, they have a lot less invested when they win. Whereas when, you know, a high level player wins, we have everything invested. So I'd much rather have a double downtime than have to deal with this kind of crap. This is just miserable. So I get bricks, which I went, you know, hunted down the minerals I needed, put those on a token. I believe it was silver token. Got those done rather quickly. The sunny upgrades, you know, I love getting the 6,000 upgrades. They're easy and, you know, quick and easy. So I got that, did the bonus streaks. Now I'm up to what? Let's see here, 292 in points. I get the 6,000 point VU. You got to remember, at the beginning of this week, we cleared out anything that was low premium that could be high premium later. Doing the VU, doing the, you know, the 2,000 point upgrades, those have to be available to you, right? But if you clear them at the wrong time, like let's say you have a whole bunch of high value point tasks in your list and you open those spots too early, they just come back as low points values because you already have high point values in your list. It's knowing when to rotate in those low premiums so that they continue to come in as high premiums. So now I get the Omega for 6,000. And I'm able to finish that streak. This is what my leaderboard looks like at the current moment. So right now I am at 316 and the guy in first has 336. Okay, so looking at this, I'm onto my tickets already. So I've got this streak, the next streak, and then the remaining assignments. So I know I can pass him, you know. Is he going to continue to add points? Are other people going to continue to add points? Possibly. One thing that you'll realize is that you're never safe, ever. Even if you have like a 100K lead, you're never safe. It's too easy to, you know, move quickly and stack up a ton of points. I mean, look at how many points I've added in just this short amount of time. They probably thought they were safe. You have to remember how quickly these points stack up, especially if you save the streaks. Okay, so I did the cargo and I get cactus simoleons. Now at this point, I'm pretty pissed off because all my regionals are still shut. But this one I haven't had yet, and I haven't had to do a lot of upgrades on this map either. So I did have a ton of motors that I had saved up. One of the issues was I had them all ready for pickup for if I got a production task. So it was like, okay, do I want to pick these up and sell them for the coins task and then potentially end up totally screwed if I get, you know, a production on motors task? So it was like, all right, I really have no choice. So I went ahead and I picked up the motors that I had. I got 5 from a club member and I was able to kind of sell what I had to get what I needed. Okay, so I got that done. Now at this point, the leaderboard is I'm only 10K behind on the leaderboard, and I still have a lot of tasks left. I've just been kind of watching. So I get paint, and obviously I'm not gonna waste any more time than I need to because you got to remember, I am in active war. Right? So if, let's say, I still have this whole streak and my tickets, the remaining tickets, if I hit any kind of downtime, any kind of, you know, problem at all, I could potentially lose my active war time and screw myself. I have to finish all my tasks before this second war ends to ensure that I can do every task. Do you know how pissed I would be if I, let's say, drug my feet, waited for the paint to, you know, make in X amount of hours, and then ended up in a situation where I get a war task and I can't finish the streak? All over saving 1 token or something? No, screw that. So always try to go as quick as you can for tasks like this, okay? Okay, so now I've got the 8,000 bonus. I get a delivery to London. Now these were a nightmare for me because it's not, they don't just ask for regular items, they can also ask for regionals. Now, if you don't recall, most of my regionals have been eaten alive by this lovely game. So it was asking for all kinds of stuff that I didn't have, that nobody in my club could help me with. So yeah, it was just a nightmare. Anyway, I was able to get this one done, and then I get delivery to Tokyo for three delivery to Tokyo for 6,000, which again, excellent task, but damn it, you know, the last one wanted 4 robes, 3 fans, and I believe it was 3 gnomes, and that was problematic because I had just went through all that BS with my limestone map. So yeah, I decided that I was going to run some more tokens with the paint that I had made. I was going to pick up some blue text. I just started running some robes, and that way I would have them for things like this, and I would also have them if I got another coins task. So I did that, and that is what I was afraid of happening, okay? Now, remember, I don't know, I think it was in walkthrough part 1, we had discussed the regional HQs and how they were all closed down. So at some point before war had ended, I had saved one map, just one, okay? Because I had went through all my others for all my other tasks, but I had to save one in case I got something like this, because they take so long to reopen. And what happened was somebody had asked me for corn. I had went to go post it for them on my Green Valley map, and I had accidentally opened the HQ. So it had already been opened and closed by now, so I have no HQs open at the moment, or so I thought. So because of all this downtime that had passed, I was like, wait a minute here. One of these that I had clicked way early on, like way at the beginning of the contest, may actually be open by now. So I went to check before starting the task, and lo and behold, yes, there was one. So I was able to pay the cash to bring in all those extra rows. That was a hefty bill, let me tell you. It was like 10, 20, 40, and then I had one left, and it wanted me to pay $80, 80 cash. So I went through and I checked all my other regional HQs, and I had a very short time span of waiting for the other one to open. So I just said, screw it, and I waited that little bit of time, and I didn't want to spend that 80 cash, and I was able to get this one done. Now, what I have to remember is that going into next week, I have to remember that I have now opened these near the end of the contest, right? So if I'm not careful, I could end up potentially clicking on these throughout like the day off of the contest and screw myself up for next week, right? The ones that I haven't opened yet. So always be careful. Basically, the way to know if they are, you know, ready or whatever is they have the balloons on them when they're open and taking shipments. That the balloons disappear, and then you have, you know, the 2 days or whatever time span that you can buy the piggy banks, and then you have it open again. Now that timer does not begin until you click on it again, though. So don't click on it, don't open it until you're ready to actually use it. Alright, so I got that done. 6,000 points, got another VU for 6,000. All 4 of these were, I believe, 6,000 points, so that was a really good run for, you know, streak 6 or whatever. So, let's see, got the 8,000 bonus points, that put me at 372. Now, I'm back on my normal list, which I had already dealt with the London stuff and made sure I had what I needed. So I got that done. Now I get faced with this choice. This is a pretty obvious choice here, right? Metal for 60 points less, or chemicals that take quadruple as long, you know, or way more than quadruple. I could do this in 1 minute, or I could be dinking around for 2 hours and then have the potential of that one coming back again. So I went ahead and did the metal, and I got Omega for 4,000. Now, obviously, why would I take anything less than that? You know, because you also have to think that this is a premium task. I'm near the end, so value trumps opportunity here. You know, we're running out of tasks. There's no reason to worry so much about opportunity, but this is good opportunity either way. So we went ahead and did that, and then I get delivery to Tokyo for 6,000, and now I get this again. Yes, EA hates me, but luckily, like I said, I did have those, I waited for that other one to open up, so I was able to get the rows done, but I had to pay more cash on those, so that's where a good chunk of my cash went. And I ended with a score of 394, 290. So right now, this was the leaderboard the last time I had screenshotted it, which was 1 day and 6 hours left. That right there is honestly the best I can say that I could see anybody doing with the tasks given. You know, if you go back through the choices and you look and you pay very close attention to how I'm picking my tasks, you should be able to see what you're doing wrong. What a lot of people do wrong is they think, first off, they think that the immediate choice after their initial choice, it signifies something. And they don't look at the overall choices thereafter. So what I mean by that is, let's say you do a task and, you know, let's say you do a coins task or something stupid, and you immediately get a 3,000, or if it's a double week, it's a 6,000 launch VU. People correlate that with, oh, I did a coins task and I got VU, therefore if I do coins again, I'll get VU again. No, that's not how it works. What you should have correlated it with was you should have went, well, wait a minute here. Let's go back to when I had VU for 1,000 and I rotated that in. That's why you got it again, was because you cleared it out already. So then you don't pay attention, maybe 4 or 5 rotations go by and coins come back again. So you don't think how this has impacted your score negatively. You're only focusing on the fact that you had that VU task come in after the coins. But in reality, the coins actually caused you more problems, because what they did was they just came back, and now you're faced with the exact same choice again, except for you've lowered your points values, and now it's taking up the same spot in the list that it was already. So that right there is exactly, well, that's one thing a lot of people do wrong, is they don't pay attention to what they're rotating in and why. They do things like repairs, they do things like monster, you know, things like coins. Those are non-premium tasks, okay? They have high algorithms on them, they're almost always in your list, and they really just, they don't bring anything good. Everybody focuses on the now rather than the future. You know, what's going to come in. You can, if you really pay attention to the fact that certain tasks don't double up, and that, you know, you have all these ways that you can manipulate your assignments, you can get your tasks to come in a way where you have a much higher chance of success. You really can manipulate it quite a bit, but if you don't focus on the right things, you won't be able to. Another big mistake that a lot of high-level players are making is that when they're faced with a predicament, this is probably the biggest mistake that high-level players make, and that is not being able to do their assignments, or not willing to do them. You know, maybe they don't have enough coin. Whose fault is that? that's your fault. You should have prepared better, you know? If you are a high-level player with low storage, you're going to have a hell of a time. You have to have as much storage as possible to be able to prepare, to be able to get these assignments done as quickly as possible so that you can end up able to actually do every assignment. If you can't go quickly, if you're in a crappy club and you can't move quickly, that is going to affect you greatly, okay? If you have nobody to help you with the items that you need, if you have no club that is doing war on a, decent schedule, how are you going to ensure that you can do every task? That is why most people fail, is because they are in a position where they can't do all of their assignments, right? So whatever you have to do to make sure that you can do any and all assignments is what you need to do. And many people would have got those regional coins and they would have just not done them. They would have just said, you know what, I'm not doing this. I'm going to go on to something else. And their score would have dropped. They would have had a 6,000 point task sitting there that they can't do, and it would have just sat there and blocked up everything else, and that is exactly why I am so adamant on explaining to you guys to move as quickly as you can when you can. Because when you have to take that downtime, you don't get to choose when the downtime comes. You have to look at your list, To some extent, yes, you can decide, okay, do I want to take the downtime right now or not? But to get the highest score possible, you have to be very, very careful on when you take your downtimes. Let's say that I was to take my downtime at the wrong time and do it during active war. Then I end up in a position where I have all these tasks and the war's not going on. See how problematic that would be? So you have to be very, very careful. Pay very close attention to everything. And prep is essential. On both weeks that I've played CoM competitively, I got electrical for a high value. I had prepped electrical because of the chances of getting electrical at a high value. All of my shop preps, all of my regional prepping, all of that it all helped me save time during this week's contest. If I hadn't prepped, if I didn't prep the electrical, I could have kissed another 7-8 hours goodbye, If I hadn't prepped regionals, I don't know what the hell I would have done. I wouldn't have been able to do my regional tasks. So you have to focus on prep and choices and speed. Those are the three main components to playing CoM as best as you can. Now, speed and prep are also going to go hand in hand with how you choose your tasks. So remember that, okay? Hopefully this helped you high-level players. A lot of high-level players, like I said, I don't have a lot of high-level videos because of the cost and all that goes into it. The main reason I've been doing this is partially for Platinum keys for the November sale. So anybody here who doesn't know about that, there is a big sale in November for Black Friday where all of the categories go on sale 50%. So anything that you can do to stack up those Platinum keys, gold keys, and cash, you should do so. And the other reason that I was playing CoM competitively was to kind of help you guys out, you high-level players out, and show you guys what it is you're doing wrong and what you can do to make your score better. So good luck to you guys, and if you are a low-level player that falls kind of somewhere in between, I highly recommend you watch the Should I Restart videos.